we are up and recording. All right, so reminder about this week. Let me get this going. I'm going to share this screen. All right, so things to do for this week. We're going to go through one lesson today, which is 3B. We're going to talk about scientific notation, and I think it's orders of magnitude. We'll go through some scientific notation practice before we leave. So if you're home, there's a document. So let me show this. I'm just going to keep showing this so everybody gets used to this. If you are in Blackboard, your screen will probably come up something like this. It looks something like this when you come in. Good. On the side, you got your start here, your faculty information, and you have your course materials. Let me make sure people can see. I'll look and see what I'm doing now. Okay. Sorry, y'all. All right, I think now y'all can see me sharing. Perfect. All right, so on the side, you got your course material, announcements. All right, under announcements, because I'm getting emails and I want to make sure everybody knows what's going on. If you click on announcements, you will see all the little announcements. Some of the emails I send you are announcements, and it just pops up here, and then you guys can see where it's going. So the links for every virtual class, every time, they don't change. It's right here for us. My virtual office hour sign up is underneath it. When I change the room number, I put it here. I'm probably going to delete that soon because I don't want too many extra stuff there. And then as soon as I can make sure that everybody that should be here is here, because we've had some mix-ups. Everybody that should be here is here. This is information about attendance. So reiterating, because I still have one or two in each class that did not get it. You must be here face-to-face one day, Zoom the other days. Most of the time, I'm going to try to make sure that we get all our work done on Monday and Wednesday. And then Friday is a virtual day. I did have some people get on to ask me questions. If we don't get it all done, then I will send out the announcement Wednesday that you must log in Friday so that we can finish, but those are only on the weeks that we don't get done. So that is the attendance stuff. And then I also posted some online tutoring information. If you can't come during my office hours, the online tutoring stuff is there. Going back, underneath announcements on the left side, there's a course content section. It opens up, you will see links to all the classroom recordings that I have been giving. So links to classroom recordings are here, and then each week, Monday at midnight, the new week's folder opens up. And so this week you'll see chapter 3, and it says prepare for exam 1 over chapters 1, 2, and 3. So that's where I was when we started. So the PowerPoint notes are here. Today we're going to work on this practice thing. And then Wednesday, we will start reviewing for the test to get you ready for the test that'll open up next week. Now, here's the other thing. People are confused about, I can't see all my assignments or whatever. This is what you should do. You're going to click on My Lab Instructor links. Sorry, that's my stuff. You don't have to. You're going to click on My Lab Student links. Let me try that again. My Lab Student links. I want you, if you, instead of clicking on homework, because that'll just only show you homework, you want to click on all assignments. That way your homework comes up, your quizzes come up, anything that's due comes up.
You say click on My Lab's home?
My Lab Student links,
Mm-hmm.
and then all assignments. Good morning.
Sorry.
Click on all assignments. It brings up everything. If you click on just homework, it's only gonna bring up the assignments that are deemed to be homework. And you don't want that. You want all assignments. So if you notice, the course agreement quiz is due tonight. I think I emailed everybody that hasn't done it. 1A quiz should be closed now. You can't even, when you click on these, it's only gonna review answers. They're not open anymore. 2ABC, chapter 2 quiz. And if you're in support, chapter 2ABC, homework assignment are listed. Now they're late. So it's gonna start marking the questions that you do 10% each day off. So these are late, if you haven't finished these. Then at the bottom, you will notice that 3B opened up. So there's a lot of things to this one. 3B is your homework. The support 3B, which will start in support last day after this class. There's a support quiz. So these are for the support students. If you are not a support student and you want to do them, you can. It doesn't count against you. And then there's also a review. And the review will open up like a quiz. It counts as a quiz actually. So support, you have a quiz. Everybody, we have another quiz. All of that's due Sunday night. 3B, support quiz, review for test 1. The next week, you'll see the test open up along with like an assignment or 2 of them. All right, so I want to make sure everybody knows what's due. And you only see it if you click all assignments. If you click just homework, all that's not going to come up, and then you're going to go, I didn't know I had a quiz due. So you have to be very, very careful with how you make that happen. So people at home, do you have any questions so far? Now, moving forward, hold on, right? I see chat box. No. Good. Perfect. All right. Getting this together. Moving you over. I am going to. So let's get PowerPoint. All right, so we are going to do 3B today. If you have calculators, go ahead and get that out. I believe they should have them in the bookstore.
Yeah, they should. But you can also go online. They might be up cheaper online.
They're cheaper online, but if you use, I guess, financial aid and you want, I don't know how. Right. But I know I've heard people say they wanted to use their financial aid, and so they go to the bookstore to get it.
They're low. I bought mine last month because I took this course last month. So I spent like $60 on mine, and they're usually worth like $100.
Yeah, they are. So there are a lot of, the question was about TI-84s. There are a lot of places you can get TI-84. I know they should sell them in the bookstore because you can get financial aid to cover if you use it through the bookstore. They are cheaper, I'm sure, other places. In fact, the TI-84 that I have with me today, I got from a pawn shop. So like, seriously, I will troll pawn shops to buy universities, like go by Euler and go to their pawn shop. Usually students, when they get done with their math class, their last math class, they be like, I don't ever want to see this calculator again, and they'll go, oh. So I think I got mine for like $25 at a pawn shop. I've been on, I don't know if eBay is still a thing. I have a couple of higher end calculators that I purchased on eBay.
Higher end calculators.
Huh?
Higher end calculators.
Higher end, so there's one called a TI Inspire, which does a whole lot more than TI-84.
It does like graphics and stuff, right? It does graphics.
It does it'll factor polynomials for you. So yeah, so a lot of our like SAT and stuff, they don't let you use it anymore on the test, so because it does too much. And then a TI-89, I got one of those off eBay, and I got all of those for like really cheap. So it depends, but you have to be careful. People will try to sell you trash if you don't want it. take that. All right, so here we go. Get it together. This is chapter 3, and we're working on section B, and it's specifically about scientific notation. And so you've seen scientific notation before, and yes, your calculator, especially if you have a TI-84, it will somewhat do some of the scientific notation for you, but we're gonna look at different ways to do it. So what is scientific notation? Scientific notation is a format in which a number is expressed as a number between 1 and 10. Y'all gotta circle that. It's gotta be a number between 1 and 10. It cannot be higher than 10. It cannot be lower than 1. And because of this, we have to multiply it by any power of 10. But we want to make sure.
Sorry, can you please tell me how you got to the book, because I'm just trying to get that assignment.
Okay, so it's under my student lab links. And then it should say Pearson eText.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, so we want to change big, really big numbers so that we can read them. And we also want to change really small numbers so that we can read them. So that's what scientific notation is used for. So here are 2 examples. Ones, thousands, million, billions. Okay, 6,700,000,000. That's a big number, and sometimes we have too many zeros to write. So we written in scientific notation, it would be written as 6.7 times 10 to the 9th power. The next number, which I don't even know how to say that stupid number, has way too many zeros. And if you were writing this out, you would be up there counting how many zeros are there before you write your 2. So instead, we use scientific notation, and that number will be 2 times 10 to the negative 15th power. So the bigger question is, well, heck, how do we know how to write these types of numbers? So that's what we're going to work on today. How do we change numbers to and from scientific notation? And this is in the slide, so y'all are sitting there probably like counting zeros.
Oh, no, I
All right. So order of magnitude is another vocabulary word we use it. You're gonna it's an estimate that specifies a broad range of values, usually within 1 or 2 powers of 10. So if I say 10,000 or in the millions, and y'all saw me when I saw that number, I went up there and I started doing, I said 1,000, millions, billions. So those are order magnitudes. I was trying to see how big it is. So it helps us compare things too. So if I say, rather than I walk tens of miles versus I walk tens of thousands of miles, that ain't gonna happen, but you got it. I drive tens of miles, that sounds better. I drive thousands of miles, those are magnitudes, orders of 10. So that's when we talk about order of magnitude. All right, is the total annual ice cream spending in the United States measured in thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, or billions of dollars? Which one do we think? So we're gonna guesstimate an average person has something like 50 servings of ice cream per year. Now that's not true for me. That might be true for my daughter who eats ice cream every day. But we're gonna reasonably guess this by saying the average person eats about 50 servings of ice cream per year. So what we say we're gonna measure the United States consumption of ice cream by thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, or billions of dollars. So in our brains, our first question should be asking us, well, how much is 1 serving of ice cream? How much would you say? Anybody?
$3.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, unmute yourselves because I can't see y'all in the chat box yet. All right, so let's say it's $3 per serving. And if the average person eats 50 servings per year, how much are we spending on ice cream per year?
$150.
Good, $150. So everybody in the world is spending 100 in the United States. Everybody in the United States is spending $150 per year on ice cream. Now, I don't know the population of the United States, but let's go through. Population of USA. All right, so 328.2 million people in the United States spending $150 per year on ice cream. Well, I can automatically get rid of one of the answers. Which answer am I going to get rid of already?
Thousands.
My choices are thousands, millions, and billions. Which one am I getting rid of? Thousands, because we already got 328 million people. So with your calculator, you can put in, what's 328 million times $150? I'm grabbing my TI. Million, no. One, two, three, times $150. All right, it gave me, my calculator gave me a scientific notation. 4.92 times 10 to the 10 power. What the heck does that mean? It means I know it has at least 8 zeros in it. So am I in the millions or am I in the billions?
Billion.
Billions, good. So my order of magnitude, I didn't realize I could pull up the chat box up here. Does that say chat? Now I got my chat box up. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, so I'm in the billions. And even here, they took 50 servings. They guesstimated $1 per serving. We said $3. I think it's more towards $3, to be honest with you, especially if you go to Chick-fil-A. But anyway, so they guesstimated 15 billion. Mine went to 49 billion based on our $3 serving. But regardless, we're in the billions per year. And those are magnitudes, orders of magnitude. Thousands, millions, billions. We're in the billions. All right, we use scaling to help us with order of magnitude. How in the world do we get a map down to one piece of paper? So we have to scale it up or scale it down, however you want to look at it. So if we're looking at scaling, and you look at your map, and they say graphically 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer. So they put the scale across the bottom. You see the white and blue little rectangles at the bottom. That represents your centimeters, and that will represent your kilometers on the map. So, graphically speaking, we have to divide by orders of magnitude in order to get stuff down to what we mean. So we have a 1 to 100,000 ratio. So we got to practice. That was really weird. We got to practice. How in the world do we do scientific notation? Tell me, y'all. How do we do this order of magnitude? How do we do this scientific notation? All right, so if you're home, if you go into course content, if you're in here, you got your laptop. And you go into week 3, you will see 3B scientific notation, and it is a Microsoft Word document. And it says, I'm going to pull it up, share it with you guys at home. Share it with you guys. That's where I'm done. As soon as I think I'm ready. The Zoom thing disappeared on us. All right, hold on. We're almost there, y'all. It's not letting us see. Stop. All right, there you go. All right. You're going to share the window. All right. It's a little bit. All right, so we're going to look at converting from standard notation to scientific notation. Standard notation is how we normally write a number, no matter how big or how small. The scientific notation becomes very tricky. So a number in scientific notation is broken up as a product of 2 parts. You're going to have a number between 1 and 10. Remember, I was saying that earlier. And then it's going to be times 10 to the n power. All right, it has to be between 1 and 10. It cannot be 0 point something, something, something. It can't be 10 point something, something, something. It's got to be between 0 and 10. N, which is the number we're going to raise 10 to, has to be an integer. It can be positive or negative. It doesn't matter. So an example of that would be 4.7 times 10 to the 3rd power. Notice that the first part, the 4.7, is a number between 1 and 10. It is times 10 to the something power, and that power is a positive or negative integer. Got to be a whole number. So 4.7 is called the coefficient, and 10 to the 3rd power is called the power of 10. Now, how in the heck do we know how to do that? Well, it's moving the decimal point and counting how many times you move it and what direction you move it to. So we're going to count the number of decimal places that it takes us to move the original number so that that number is between 1 and 10. That's going to be your exponent. If the original number is less than 1, the exponent is negative. If the original number is greater than 1, the exponent is positive. So let's start with that example they have here. I'll write it down and then we'll switch the screen for everybody to see. So they have 2,350,000. And we want to change that. So let me see my screen. At home, can y'all see me writing? Say yes.
Yes.
Yes,
You can
okay,
see.
perfect. All right, so there's no decimal point that you can see in this number. Whenever you don't have a decimal point, it's at the end of the number. So in this case, I'm gonna put it in red. Since I don't see a decimal point, it's going to be right there. Now I want to move this decimal until the number becomes between 1 and 10. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Can y'all see that? Oh, y'all can't see. It's y'all that can't see. Can y'all see? Perfect. All right. I'm backing up because the ones here couldn't see. I don't know why. We got to see. All right. So going back to my babies here in the classroom. Here's the number. There's no decimal point. So therefore, it's got to be right here. So we're going to move it until that number becomes between 1 and 10. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had to move it this
We
time.
can't see.
Say that again, baby.
The screen's a little weird for Zoom.
All right, hold on.
Sorry.
It's okay. Tell me. Yeah, it's good that you tell me so that I can stop this shit. Don't do this again. Can y'all see that?
Yep, we can see
All
that.
right. I'm starting over all the way. Here's the number. It was 2,350,000. All right. There's no decimal point. Whenever you don't see a decimal point, put it at the end. So I'm putting it right there. We have to move it till the number becomes between 1 and 10. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now that number is 2.35. I can drop all the zeros on the end. But I moved it 6 times. So I put times 10 to the 6. And now I need to double check, should that exponent be positive or negative? The original number, is it bigger than 1 or smaller than 1? It's bigger than 1. So that exponent's going to stay positive. And now I have written that number in scientific notation. All right, we're going to try a couple of more examples. The next one on that list is 2,000. The next one we're going to do is 2,116. Going back to the thing so they can see. There's my number. I do not see a decimal point, so I'm going to put it at the end. I have to move it so that the number is between 1 and 10. So I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3. So my new number is 2.116. I moved it 3 times. Now I got to check to see if my exponent is going to be positive or negative. The original number was bigger than 1, so it stays positive. So this is my new number. All right, let's try some more. All right, my new number is 0.00082. Decimal point is already in there. And the doesn't matter whether we're moving it to the right or to the left. I know I'm gonna have to move this one to the right because all of those non-zero digits are to the right. So I go to this decimal point and I'm gonna move it until the number is between 1 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8.2 is between 1 and 10. I moved it 4 spaces. But that original number was less than 1. So it must be a negative exponent. So that's 8.2 times 10 to the negative 4. Everybody okay?
Yep.
All right, let's do one more together, and then I'm gonna have you try something. All right. 0.0019 is my new number. I want to move this until it's a number between 1 and 10. So we got 1, 2, 3. So I have the 1.9 times 10 to the 3. Next question is, the original number, was it less than 1 or was it bigger than 1? And the answer was it was less. So we got to put a negative in front of that 3. And that is how I write that number in scientific notation. All right, so your job right now, if you're at home, you can open up the document. I'm going to try to put this up so they can see it here. Zoom people at home, just in case you don't have access to get the document up. Do y'all see that up? The 1, 2, 3, and 4 numbers up.
Which ones?
The Word, I have my Word document on the screen and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right with the different numbers. Can y'all
No,
see that?
we see your projector.
Okay, hold on. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. All right, one more time. Y'all see that? All right, can y'all still see it at home?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, go ahead and work on those 4, and then we're gonna go over them together.
What's the first one say?
What should I take? Shayla? Y'all ready to try it? See that? I got it this time. Let's see. Get my word down. All right, so our first number, let's check and see if y'all got it. You're checking your own papers. All right. All right, no decimal point in this one. So I'm putting it at the end. I'm counting how many times it takes me to move it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to move it there. So that's going to be 3.28 times 10 to the 5th. And since the number was bigger than 1, it's going to stay constant. All right, second number was 14,629. There was no decimal point, so I'm putting it at the end. Is that right? 14,000?
I thought it was 626.
It's 629, but it's okay. It's still. As long as you're getting how to move it, we're good to go. All right, so let's count 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 1.4629 times 10. How many times did I move it? 4 times?
4.
And so therefore it stays positive because it's bigger than 1. That was the answer for that. All right, number 3. Number 3. We have 0.0034. All right, we're gonna move this one 1, 2, 3 times, so it'll come 3.4. It was smaller than 1, so that's gonna be -3. And so this is our final answer for scientific notation. And number 4. Oh, Lord. How many zeros is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. All right. So I'm going to count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was less than 1, so that's going to be -6. So this is my final answer for scientific notation. So anytime you go to the right, it's always going to be negative. Yes, when you're converting to scientific notation. Yes, 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 yes. Guess what you're converting to? So if it's negative, you're gonna go to the right. If it's positive, you're gonna go to the left. Now, here's the other thing. Sometimes we have to convert from scientific notation. So you kind of got to use a little bit of logic there too. So for example, if I gave you this number, right? That's scientific notation. And I said, write that number in standard notation. Now, sometimes depending on the calculator you have, and I think that number is too big. If I typed in, and I'm going to see if I can pull up my calculator to share with y'all. One second, y'all. Let's just warm it up. See if it's- All right. On your TI-84s, the scientific notation button is not even where you think it is. Now, I could type in this 3.69, and then I'll type times 10, and then to get that exponent, it's this little caret button right here. So I put to the 9th power, and I think it's too big. If I press enter, oh no, it's not. So if you're lucky, it'll put out the digits for you and say, okay, there it is. Well, I know I don't have to, back to my whiteboard, I'm doing too much, but that's okay. I'm gonna get the hang of this. Here we go. If they can see it at home, no, I can't see it. Oh, okay. Let's try to do too much. Y'all see that? Perfect. All right. So if I gave you this and you had to do it by hand, and let's say you at home don't have your TI-84 yet, and you're like, what the heck? Well, I've taught you enough for you to be able to convert. That exponent is bigger than, is positive, which means that my number that I end up at has to be bigger than 1. Am I going to move my decimal point to the left or to the right in order to get it back to its standard form?
To the left.
So you say go this way. Is that gonna make my number big or small?
It's gonna make it smaller.
It's gonna make it smaller, so I gotta go back to the.
Right.
So that's why I said I hate to tell y'all whether to go left or right, because y'all are gonna confuse the two once you have to go back. So just remember, I'm gonna go in the direction, I'm gonna go in the direction to make this bigger. I'm gonna go to the right. So that was 3.689. I gotta go to the right 9 times. 1, 2, 3. I ran out of space. Keep going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Decimal point's gonna end up here. What the heck do I put in those empty spaces? I put 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my final answer, and I'm not gonna put that decimal point because it's at the end. I has 6 zeros, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put commas. I know I'm drawing with my mouse, so forgive me. So that is my standard form number. So yes, you'll find tricks of which direction to move in, but you're gonna confuse them until you get it down. So if I'm converting to scientific notation, yes, I know there's a pattern of which way to move, but if I'm converting from scientific notation, I'm gonna be moving in the opposite direction. Okay? All right, so just to reiterate, this class is coming to an end. Off the camera now, so I'm gonna go back to my camera. That won't gonna last long. Y'all can see me now. All right, so to reiterate today, we're going over to support lab. If you have support, you'll log in a few minutes. This week you have a 3B homework to do. You also have, if you're in support, a 3B support homework to do. Support people, you also have a support quiz to do. And then everybody has a review for chapters 1, 2, and 3 that counts as a quiz as well. All right. Next class, there's no new material. We're going to go over the review of the test together, make sure we got it down. And then you'll be prepared to take the test next week during that. All right. Support people, we're heading over there. Give us 10 minutes to get over there. If you're not support, I'll see you guys Thursday. I'll let you later.